You want to have nice, healthy bass, you better have plenty for them to eat. Stay tuned. Hey, Greg Grimes with Aquatic Environmental Services. Today we're going to be talking about stocking your pond. We're talking specifically about a pond being stocked with the goal of trophy bass management. A typical stocking plan that a lot of DNR agencies have been using for years, well, 800 bluegill and 200 red ear sunfish and 100 bass. What that is a 10-to-1 ratio, and it's a wonderful strategy that was designed years ago, putting food on the table, so you've got a good balance. We're talking about trophy bass management. We don't necessarily want to hit that same balance. We want to skew that towards more forage so the bass have even more to eat. So we'll come in with 2,000 bluegill, an additional 400 red ear sunfish, and then we'll stock just 50 bass. So that's going to result in a 48-to-1 ratio. Much more food for the bass. It's also not going to become bass crowded or bass dominant as quickly. And so that's going to result in just wonderful growth throughout their entire lifespan. In addition to stocking those higher numbers of bluegill, we're going to supplement that. Fathead minnows is a really huge bonus because if you stock those, they're going to build up really big numbers until the bass show up. It's also going to take pressure off the bluegill once the bass do show up. You stock the bass as little 2-inch fingerlings usually, and they're going to eat a lot of the fathead minnows up. They're going to grow really quickly on those. They're going to take some pressure off the bluegill, which they'll then switch over, and at some point they're going to be wiped out, but it's a really good forage to add. In addition to that, we're going to stock crawfish. They're going to build up some good numbers of forage for the bass, and then we're going to stock threadfin shad in the right environment. That is not too far outside the southeast mountain region. You really need to think about that, and we really prefer the threadfin on 3-acre ponds and bigger. So you're going to have superior bass growth throughout their entire lifespan. But if you start to see the bluegill population go down, you're going to offset that predation by stocking more bluegill, and then really come in with a forage stocking program. What we like to stock for the additional forage, more than what the natural sustainability might be, is to come in May with crawfish. Prices drop down, so the price for a pound of crawfish is much cheaper than any other forage fish that we can stock. It also stimulates a bite, which is a really nice side note. Then we'll come into the summer months. The crawfish are pre-spawn or right around the spawning time, so it helps that energy source then. Come into the summer doldrums with some goldfish, and that's going to be a little better than just golden shiners. The price might be slightly lower, but the big thing we like about the goldfish is they're very visible, so the bass can easily pick those off. They're slower moving, and they're a bigger bang for the buck. You just get a meatier bite when the bass does catch that. By the bass using up less energy, that's going to then go into growth rates. And then we'll go into the winter time with rainbow trout. And what I really like about rainbow trout, you can't get a better superfood, we call it. You can't get a better nourishment for the bass and the trout, but also we can match the bass sizes, which is half the length of a largemouth bass. It's a third the length on a bluegill, it's a half the length on a trout. So we've got a lot of 12-inch bass we're really trying to push up. We're going to stock some 6 to 8-inch rainbow trout. If we're really trying to push the growth rates on the bigger bass, we may stock a 10 to 12-inch, a 12 to 14-inch trout even, to grow those bass up. So stock it right from the beginning, add some extra forage, and you're really going to have superior bass growth throughout their entire lifespan.